Hey everyone, in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to make an awesome black and white photo in Lightroom. So you might be thinking that black and whites are kind of boring, but I have some tips and some tricks on how to make it a really interesting edit. So this is the image that we're working on and we're going to jump straight into it and hit black and white. So from here, the first thing that I like to do is edit my tone curve. So I'm going to start by creating an S-curve to matte the blacks and the whites a little bit and just add a little bit more depth and a little bit of style into our image. So to do this, I like to drag the black point of the curve up the side of the panel thing. And as you can see, that's matting our blacks quite a lot. And I like to do the S-curve for black and white images pretty harsh compared to my color images. So I'm going to bring it all the way up here. And I'm also going to bring my white point down as well. And then I'm just going to make 2 points here in our curve and turn it into an S like that. And once I have my main points dotted out, I like to then drag them around until I'm happy with how the image is looking. So I like to bring the shadows of the curve down just to add a little bit of contrast to the image, as you can see here. Then I normally make a dot in the middle as well, just to bring out the whites. And then here towards the highlights, I also like to bring that up. And then I just kind of move the dots around a little bit until I'm happy with how the image is looking. So I think there it's looking really good. The next thing that I like to do in any image is to sharpen it. If you've been watching my Lightroom tutorials, I love sharpening. So I just bring out the amount and the radius into a little ladder here. And here's a new trick that I learned. You can either sharpen the entire image just by doing that, or you can also hold down the Alt or Option key and bring up the masking to only sharpen specific areas of the image. So the more we bring it up, that white area on the photo is where the sharpening is being applied to. So I'm gonna put it around there. So here's a little before and after of the sharpening. Okay, so let's go into our HSL, and this is where all the magic happens with black and white editing. So you can either use this little tool here to specifically click on areas of your image to make them darker or brighter, which is a really easy way of doing it, or you can just manually come here and edit the sliders yourself. So I like to just start from the top and work my way down to the bottom. So the reds usually affects someone's lips. Even if they don't have lipstick, that's what reds normally affect. So I usually like to bring that down in a black and white edit just to make them pop. Then the oranges normally affects a person's skin tones, and I like to bring that up so our skin tone is nice and bright. The yellow and the green then usually affects the background of an image if you're shooting somewhere grassy or with trees, in a park, anything like that. And I like to bring those down so the background is really dark and the subject stands out and kind of pops in the photo. So I'm going to bring that down just a little bit. It's also really important to keep in mind with black and white edits to look at the detail in your photo while you're bringing things down. If you bring something down way too much, it starts creating like really weird looks in your photo. So it's important to do things in a way that's subtle enough for you to notice it, but not enough to start kind of destroying the quality of your image. Then for the aqua and blue, normally affects the sky or the ocean or pretty much anything blue in your photo. For this image, the background was very overexposed, so moving the blue around isn't going to do too much in this instance. And then the purples and magentas normally affects kind of weird splotchy bits of the skin, so I normally don't really do too much with these either. Well, this is affecting the flowers. I actually like the magenta to be way up here, as it looks nice to have a bit of brightness within the flowers, so we're going to do that. So now that we've edited the HSL, we're going to go into our basics panel and start adjusting the tones of the photo with these tools in Lightroom. So I want to start by bringing the exposure down, as I personally like my black and white photos to be really moody. So I'm going to do that, and then also bring the contrast up just a tiny bit. I'm also going to bring my shadows up just to add a little bit more depth into the face, as it's gotten quite dark from bringing down the exposure. And I'm also going to bring my highlights down to try and save a little bit of the background of this image. And I also like to bring my blacks down to add a bit more contrast into the photo as well. And once we've done that, I think I want to bring my exposure up a little bit. Okay, so the thing with black and white photos is that those are the three main things that you want to edit in an image. Once you've done all of them, I like to go back to each one and tweak them just a tiny bit each time until I'm happy with what the photo looks like. So we're going to go back into HSL, and I actually want to bring my oranges up just to brighten up her skin tone a little bit more. And I think her lips are looking a little bit too dark for this image, so I'm going to bring up the reds a little bit as well, just a tiny bit. And then I also want to bring the exposure back down a little bit. It's all about finding that balance within the photo. So I'm really happy with all those edits, and I would say I'm pretty much done with this photo. I just wanted to show you one more thing, and with black and white you can actually add a little bit of color if you want into the image with split toning. So we're going to bring our saturation of the shadows up a little bit, and as you can see, that's kind of already affecting our image. So I like to bring the hue of the shadows into like kind of like a bluey purple kind of area. And then I like to bring the highlights into a warmer part. So let's say like yellows. And as you can see, that kind of adds something really subtle to the photo. But I personally don't want to use split toning for this. I just wanted to show you that that's something that you can do to your black and white images if you wanted to. So I'm going to just jump down and show you what the original black and white looked like before all our editing, which I believe is here. So this is the black and white that Lightroom provides for you. This is where you can take your black and white images with some editing. I really hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I absolutely love creating black and white photos, so I really wanted to share this with you, as black and white photos can be a little bit boring sometimes, but you can really take them to another level with just a little bit of tweaking in Lightroom. If you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys all really soon. Bye!